Hello there everyone. Apologies for how long it's been since I've uploaded something. I've been working on a lot of things, so I haven't really had the time to post anything in a while. But I'm finally able to share this little story that I've been working on for a few months now. This is just the first part out of 2, so stay tuned for the next part whenever I get that finished. Anyway, this story is an extension of my CliffClan and LowlandClan story. The same generator was used, but the names got changed a lot, and the roles are pretty different. While these cats don't interact directly with the clan cats, they do know who they are. So if you have not seen my videos on CliffClan and LowlandClan, you can watch them in the playlists that are linked in the description. I won't go into too much detail, but the basics of the story is that all these cats used to be kitty pets and loners who lived near the clan's territories. They were all taken with their 2 legs to a small village in need of a new water source, thus needing people to help build a canal. There's then this whole thing about the locals wanting to keep the cats there because of an old story. The story describes how cats with the eyes the color of the sun are special and should be free from humans. The owners were pretty reluctant to leave their cats, but they eventually decided that it would be best for them, especially because they could always come back and visit whenever they wanted. These cats went on to form Canal Colony, and formed themselves around a similar system to the clan. So, without further ado, let's get into part 1 of the Cats of Canal Colony. Bitterstar is a former kitty pet who was once a very spoiled cat. His owner had given him the name Bitter due to his dark chocolate-colored pelt. He was the only cat in the house and never had to worry about sharing food or a bed or anything like that. After his owner was asked to help with the construction of the new canal, Bitter was also brought along, and it ended up meeting all the other cats who came with their housefolk as well. He did not like any of them at first, but soon all the cats started to get along fairly well. After their 2 legs decided to leave their cats behind as to not upset the locals, Bitter suggested that they form a group similar to the clans they used to live near. The others agreed, and they formed Canal Colony, with Bitter changing his name to Bitterstar, as he knew the leaders of CliffClan and LowlandClan had star at the end of their names. Bitterstar may have the title of a leader, but he does not have the 9 lives of one. He does not believe StarClan is real, and he refuses to listen to Rainleg, the colony's prophet, about how the StarClan cats are actually real and want to give him 9 lives. Also, as you can see, Bitterstar does not have a right hind leg. He ended up losing it when he got frostbite one leaf bear. He was saved by a vet who lived in the village, but his leg had to be amputated from the damage done to it. Now whenever leaf bear hits, the colony moves indoors so that Bitterstar is safe from the harsh weather. Swanberry is a former kitty pet who lived in a home with many other cats, most of them having some kind of disability. Her original name was Swan due to her white pelt, and was given the suffix of berry for her love of, well, gathering berries. She was born completely deaf in her left ear, and has a bit of trouble when it comes to listening to others. Her former owners had opened up their home to any cats who were having trouble getting adopted, her being one of these cats. When one of her owners was asked to help with the building of the new canal, she and Rain, another cat who lived in the house and was her closest friend, were taken along with them and eventually met the other cats who would form Canal Colony. Bitterstar chose Swanberry to be his second in command for her ability to handle stressful situations and just her general upbeat attitude towards others. She's a great role model and does her best to keep her colony safe and happy. She also happens to be the one who found Bitterstar when he got frostbite and was able to help him get to safety. Rainleg is a former kitty pet who lived in the same house as Swanberry. Her name was originally Rain due to the fact that he loved to play in the rain, and later gained the suffix of leg from the unique markings on their front legs. She was his owner's first cat before they decided to open up their home to cats who were having trouble getting adopted. Rain became good friends with Swan when she was brought into the home, and when the 2 of them were left behind, they decided to join the group of cats who were forming a new colony. Rainleg has an unusual connection to StarClan. with them being the first cat of the colony to know of their existence. She sees the cats of StarClan a lot when he's asleep, and tries their best to decipher any messages the starry cats give her. He's had a hard time convincing Bitterstar to believe in StarClan, but they hope that one day the stubborn Tom will listen to her. Stripe is a former barn cat who lived with his father, Sand, and his brother, Hornet. His original name was Gold for his golden-colored stripes, but was often called Golden Boy by the two legs who owned the barn, so he chose Golden as his new prefix, and got the suffix of Stripe because of, well, his stripes. Golden Stripe and his family spent most of their time out in the barn, hunting mice and playing in the hay, but they were allowed into the farmhouse whenever they wanted to. When the three of them were brought with their two legs to the town where the new canal was being built, they eventually met all the other cats who had been brought along too. Golden Stripe was pretty shy towards the new cats, and even a bit scared of them, seeing as he's typically nervous around others. But he eventually warmed up to them and joined the colony when it was first forming. He spends a lot of time with his brother, and the two of them are usually found hanging out together. Plum Chaser is the only cat in the colony who originally lived in the town to begin with. He used to just be a nameless street cat who avoided humans unless they had food to offer. They don't talk much about why she hates two legs, but the other cats in the colony suspect they may have been a kitty pet once and her two legs abandoned them. She got their name from the time they chased a plum because she didn't realize it was a dangerous fruit. Plum Chaser met the other cats soon after they were brought to the town, but they were very cautious to approach them at first. Over time, she warmed up to them and started to hang out with them a bit more. When their new friends were left behind, they were one of the first to agree to the formation of the new colony and made sure her campmates knew the town layout well. Ravenbite was originally a kitty pet who was the pet of a young child. Her name was simply Raven because of her black pelt, and later she gained the suffix of bite for her snappy attitude. Her owner did not really know how to take care of a cat correctly, so she now has a deep hatred for two-legged kits. The home she lived in had two other cats as well, her sisters Daisy and Soot. The three of them were taken along with the family when they moved to help build the canal, and were then left behind once the canal was complete. The sisters soon found the other cats left behind and joined their group. Ravenbite was reluctant to join at first, but soon she grew to like the other cats despite how much it seemed she didn't want to be around them. Heart is a former barn cat who lived with his father Sand and his brother Gold. His name used to just be Hornet from the time he played with a hornet's nest as a kid, and got the suffix of heart because of how loving he is. Hornet Heart loved to play in the hay piles that were scattered throughout the barn, but he was not the best at hunting mice, so he typically left the hunting to his brother and father. After being left behind in the town, Hornet Heart warmed right up to the other cats when they met them. He made friends pretty quickly, and proved that he had a big heart and cared for others around him, even if they didn't particularly care for him in the same way. Welp, that's all the cats for part 1. Not sure when I'll get part 2 out, but it'll probably be a few weeks or so, since I have yet to design the remaining 7 cats in the colony. I also have plans to make a video explaining more of the lore behind the colony, so that'll end up being a video eventually. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed!